Hi there, this is Smart, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to create a score grading app with Python. This score grading app is going to contain a mini database, and then what this score grading app will help you to do is to able to grade any score, probably of your student or of yourself. Sorry, that if you input your name, input your score, it will give you the grade of your score, probably if it is excellent, very good, good, and then it will also save all those details in a mini database that we are going to be creating with with a particular part in Python that is called file handling. So in this tutorial you'll be learning about variables, you'll be learning about conditionals, you'll be learning about error handling, you'll also be learning about file handling. All right, so let's start. Now I'm going to open git bash here. Sorry, I'm going to open git bash here. Now I am already on desktop, so since I am on desktop, I'll just create a new folder. I'll say mkdir to create a new folder, and then the folder is going to be, let's just name it app, just something like that. So I'm going to come inside app, then I'm going to open it in my VS Code. So it should open up app now in my VS Code. So let me just close this. All right, now I am inside of my app. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my terminal here, and I'm going to select my git bash. All right, then I'm going to delete this. Okay, now I am inside of my desktop. I created a folder called app, and now I am inside that folder. Sorry that we can see it here. Now inside this folder I want to create a file. So I'm going to name it let's say grade.py, because it's a Python file. So I have created grade.py. Then I'm going to open up grade. So I'm going to say code grade.py, and then it's going to open up right here for me. Yeah, so this is where I am now. So I'm going to close up this part. So I'm just going to start from here, then I'll run my Python code from here. If you have the Python extension, you can also click on this play button. It will run the Python code for you. All right, quickly let me just start with print. If I print something now, let's test if it is working. If I print something like good, all right, so let me test it out from here. If I should run my py, then I say grade.py, okay, now I can have my good. So that tells me that everything is working fine. So the first thing I want to get from my user, I want to get their name, the name of the user, or the name of the person that I want to grade. So the first thing I'm going to say, I'm going to create a variable called name, and the name is going to get something from the user. And to get something from the user, we use the input method, okay, to get something from the user. And then I'm going to say input name. All right, so that means I'm going to get the name from the user, and the other thing I want to get from the user is the score, which is still almost the same thing, input score. So now if I should run this now, let's run it. It's going to ask me two things: input your name, I can say my name is Smart, and then it's saying input score, I can put 40. You see that nothing is happening. That's, but first I've been able to get the name of the user, and I've also been able to get the score. Okay, so it is this score that I want to grade. All right, so if the score is 40, it will tell them, okay, your grade is 40, very good or bad or whatsoever it is. Now to do this, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to run my if statement. That's a conditional statement. I'm going to say if score is greater than 80, if score is greater than 80, print out something to the user, print out excellent. Okay, now take a look at what I've been able to create. Now first I was able to get the name of the user, get the score of the user, and then I haven't done that. I'm saying if my score is greater than 80, print out excellent to the user. Now let's test that out. Now we're going to see notice an error. Okay, now if I say print out Smart, and then score, if I'm saying, okay, let's say 85, 85 is greater than 80, I'm going to say something. It's going to tell me type error, okay, because we are comparing a string. Because when I get this score, Python sees it as a string unless I specify that this is not a string. So how do I specify that? I can say my int, I can wrap it with the int. All right, so I can wrap it with the int such that Python now understand that it is what, an integer. And then if I run it again, I'm going to have my smart, and then if I have 85, just like we have said, we have the excellent coming out. And then the excellent is because the score is greater than 80. Now another thing I could do, I can still write my if my score is also greater than 60. If my score is greater than 60, print out very good, print out very good. Now take a look at this. Now it looks as if I've written a perfect code, but then there are still some errors to take note of. If I say input my name of smart, but then if I should do something, let me print out 85 and let's see what happens. Okay, now my 85 is printing out excellent and it is printing out very good. Why? Because each time I'm using the if statement, it's check for this. You know, this score is like a global variable here, such that if it's testing that is score greater than 80, if it is greater than 80, it print excellent. Then it text again, is score greater than 60, if the same score is greater than 60, it print out very good. And then for this particular thing that I use it, which is 85, we can see that score is greater than 80, that is 85 is greater than 80, that's 1. So it meets up with this particular condition, and then it's printing out excellent. And then it is still meeting with this particular condition also, which is 85 is still greater than 60, and then it is printing out very good. Now to solve this, I can bring in something. I can change this if to else if, okay, such that it runs this code if this is not correct, or if it does not meet with this condition, then it checks for the next condition. Now if I should run this code now, I say smart and I'm saying 85, okay, I'm having just what, just excellent. Okay, I'm having just excellent. But then you notice a lot of things here. It looks as if it's perfect, but then there's still some things to take note of regarding this thing that I've written here now. Now I'm saying if score is greater than 80, print out excellent. Else if score is greater than 60, then print out very good. Okay, let's try for the next condition first. If I say smart and I say my score now, let's say is greater than 60, probably 65, is still printing out very good. So that's good. But then it still has some things. What if I'm putting something like 100? So I'm saying, okay, let's put something like input my name is smart, and then the score is, let's say, 500. Okay, so you can see that it is still printing out excellent. And then I will solve this thing by adding two things to this thing right now. First thing, I'm going to erase all these things, and I'm going to say if 100 or 80, let's start from the 80, lesser than or equals to score lesser than or equals to 100. So what I'm saying here is if my score is between the range of 80 to 100 only, then print out what, excellent. All right, so same thing is is applicable to this. If I say if score, then I'm going to erase all this now. I'm going to say 70, yeah, let's say 60, all right, lesser than or equals to score lesser than or equals to 79, then print out very good, print out very good. All right, so let's test this out and see what we have. So if I have my smart just as usual, and then I'm having the same thing I've had before. Now I have 89 is greater than 80, so I'm going to have my excellent. So even if I print out 80 itself, because of this equals to, less than or equals to, so it is picking it from 80 to 100, from 80 to 100, and then same thing is taking it from 60 to 79. All right, then I have my very good. All right, now let me just quickly complete this. If I should come down, just let me just duplicate, so I can have from 50 to 59, so I can have something like good, so I can have like 40 to 40 to 49, so I can say fair, and I can say from 0 to 39. All right, then I can say poor. All right, now take a look at what I've been able to create. It's just still very simple. My name, I'm able to get the name. All right, first thing, getting the name from the user, and then getting the score also from the user. Then having done that, I'm able to now run a conditional statement on this particular variable that I've gotten from the user, saying if the score is within the age range of 80 to 100, print out excellent. 60 to 79, print out very good. 50 to 59, print out good. 40 to 49, print out fair. 0 to 39, print out poor. So if I should run this code again, I'm saying smart, and I'm saying something like 60, I'm having very good. Now if I should run it again, I'm saying smart, and then I'm running something like 50, okay, I'm having good. Okay, so this is one way. Now if I should still come here and I'm saying smart, okay, and I'm putting something like 101, take a look at what I have. Nothing is happening. Why is nothing happening? Because I have not created a conditional to undo anything that is greater than 100, or anything that is not involved in all these things. That is, anything that is not involved from 0 to 100. So it's not going to handle it. So one way in which we can do that, we've been using if, elif, so I can just come here and say else. If everything is not met, if what I'm giving it cannot be found or cannot be met using all these conditionals, then print out something to the user saying what? Print out invalid number. Print out invalid number. Now this will help me to handle all other numbers that are not included here. So if I put 1000 now or 2000, it's going to tell me invalid number. Now let's try that out. If I say smart and my score is 101, I can say invalid number. Now if I should run it again and I'm putting a bigger one, if I'm putting a bigger one like 400, I'll still have the invalid number. So this is one way in which we can handle something like that, such that if it is not specified here, or if score is not between my 0 to 100, it's going to print out invalid number. But then there's still something we should take note of. Now take a look at this. Now let me run this. If I'm saying smart, all right, now what if as the user I'm putting something like yes? Now what's going to happen? I'm going to see a lot of error. And then one thing that I want to call our attention to is this value error. Why is it a value error? Because it is the value that I am giving to it. Okay, we are getting values from the user. This is the value we are getting from the user. What they give us, we are storing it inside a variable called score. All right, now how will I handle something like this? How will I handle this error such that when the user input their name and probably they're now giving me something like yes as the score, how would I be able to handle something like that? Now it turns out that quickly, to show you this, I would let me comment out this. I'll still bring it back, but just for the sake of better understanding, so I'm going to include I'm going to bring in the try. All right, so this try, we use it to handle all this type of error. So I'm going to say try, then I'm going to bring this score, Control X, inside of it. Okay, Control X. So I'm going to bring it inside of try. Now I'm going to say except, all right, except then print out input a number. All right, now take a look at what I have been able to do here. I'm saying try running this particular thing, and then if there is any error at all, if there is any error regarding this thing that I'm getting from the user, print out input a number. Now I'm going to explain in details what I've done, but let me first show you. If I'm saying smart now, and then here I'm not putting yes, it says input a number. All right, now let me show you something. If I'm saying try, then I'm saying score is equals to all these things. Now I can say except value error. Why am I using value error? Because value error is the error that I am getting from the user, or the error that I'm getting whenever they input a string instead of a number. All right, so except value error as e, then print out input a number. So what this is going to do is that it is going to bring, it's going to print the error that is supposed to display as the value error. Is going to save it as E1, and then it's going to display that error before displaying input a number. Now let me show you that. Now if I should print this again, I have my smart, the score, and I'm saying smart again. All right, now take a look at this. Now it's giving me something invalid literal for int with base 10. Now smart, okay, it's telling me the error that I've made is smart. It's not telling me what to do. That is, this is what I've given it, input a what, a number. Okay, so if I should run it again, it will still give me the same thing. I'm putting smart and then smart also. I'm going to say the same thing. So this is the error from value error, and then this is the other thing that it will display, which is what, input a number. So to make it easier, I can say please input a number, so they will understand better that they are supposed to put a number in there. And then we have other type of error. If I'm using another type of error, now probably I'm using the syntax error. Now what's going to happen if I'm using the syntax error? If I should run it now, I'm still going to get an error, because this type of error is not a syntax error. You can see is a what, is a value error. And then because the value error will specify that this for a value error, save that error as E, and then bring that error here, and then print this to the user. Now but I want to make this thing very, very clear. So if I'm using except, what am I saying? I'm saying to handle any type of error that they can have, just print out please input a number. Okay, so this is just to make it a bit clearer, so that when they input something now, if I'm saying smart and I'm saying yes, okay, to just tell them a clean please input a number. But if I want to make it more specific, then I can say bring it as E, value error as E, and then bring in E here, and then later I'll put my my own message to them so that they will understand what is going on. Now having done this, now I can bring in all these things. Now I can leave them out, bring them, and then bring them inside of my trial statement. All right, I can bring them inside of my trial statement. Okay, from here, all right, okay, so I can bring them inside of my trial statement, and then let me bring this like this, so that if I should run this code now, all right, so I'm saying input name as smart. If they put y, it's tell them input a number. And then let's try the normal way. If I'm running the code again, and I'm putting smart, okay, and I'm putting something like 60, it says very good. Now if I should run it again, input name, I'm putting smart, and I'm putting something like 98, it says excellent. If I should input something again, I'm saying smart, and I'm putting no, or anything I'm putting, it says please input a number. And then one thing I also want to add is when it asks for input a number, it should take them to the point of where they will input the score again, not it should just cut the code or end the code like that. So I want it to ask them again if they happen to put a wrong thing or a string. I want it to ask them again so that they will know that, oh, it's asking again to input that particular number. Now to handle this, I'm going to use the while statement. Now I'm going to set something. Now I'm going to say let my I be equals to 1, okay, because I want to use the while statement. And then I'm going to say while I is still equals to 1, while I is equals to 1, then I'm going to say try all these things. So let me just to make it easier, I'm going to explain. Let me bring it in like this. Yeah, then after the score, I'm going to say I plus or equals to 1. Now what's actually happening here, I'm declaring a variable. I'm saying I is equals to 1. So I'm saying while I is equals to 1, then try all these things. Now this is what is happening. Okay, once I run this thing, because it is under try, once I run this thing, if there is an error, it will specify and tell me that there's an error, and it won't even run all these ones at all. Okay, if there's an error here, it won't bother running the next line. What happens is it just jumps straight to the except and run it. All right, so but if it happens that this one there's no error with this, then it adds up 1 to my I, thereby making this loop rendering it useless after my 1 has been added. So I won't have a loop I won't have a loop statement again. All right, but if I have a string as a score where the user inputs is a string, I'll still have my if it's a string, then this will not run. In fact, everything from here is not going to run. Okay, what is going to run is the except statement. All right, now let's try that out and see what is happening. Okay, now if I should run the code again, and I'm saying smart, all right, now what is your score? If I say yes, now take a look at that. Now you can see this is a much more so if I should input a score now, probably I'm putting something like 40, so you see that it says fair. Okay, so input a score. So let me just quickly give you a little explanation again. I'm saying name, I'm getting name from the user. All right, now having done that, I also got score from the user. All right, but so that we can be able to handle the type of thing we get from the user, we have to use the try. All right, so that we can, if they're giving us what we don't want, we can always print out input please input a number. Okay, now if I should run this now just to show you that again, by saying input name of smart, and then if they are putting something like yes, it tells them input a number, and then so that the code won't break at that instance, so that we can always direct them back to this input a number, we have to use a while loop. All right, so this while loop, I'm setting I to be 1, and then while I is 1, as far as this I is equals to 1, always try all those things. Now but then because it is a try, it will check the first one. If there is an error, because it is inside the try, if there is an error, it won't run the other one. So that means it's not checking for this one at all. So that means at this point my I is still 1, and then when my I is still 1, I'm skipping all those things and running this. All right, and then if they are putting another value that is still not correct again, or that they are still putting a string again, it will still run this again. All right, not until they are putting a number, that is when it will now add up 1, to this I to make it now 2, and then I is no longer 1, I is now 2, so the loop has been broken. All right, so that's what happens there. So let me just give it one more try. I have my 90, then I have my excellent. Now the last thing I want to add to this thing, I want to add this simple database so that when you add up when you put your name, it will get your name, it will get the score, and then it will get your grade, and then put them inside a text file. Now how do we do that? How do we handle files when it comes to Python? I can now create a new file, a variable. I can say file is equals to, then I can create my file. All right, I can say is equals to the name of the file that I want to create. I can say text.txt. all right, then I can see the mode that I'm giving to this file. Yeah, I can see the mode that I want to give to this file is equals to I can have mode of let me say my R. I can see mode of my R. All right, so I can say mode of my R, so that I have something like this. So what I'm doing here is showing that I'm creating a variable called file. All right, now inside the file, I'm creating a file for this particular variable, so that the file will be created in the same directory that I'm working on, and then the mode that I'm giving to this file is what is R. All right, so I'm going to add something here, which is the open. All right, so I'm going to create a new file called the text. All right, when I'm creating the text, the mode that I'm giving to that particular text is what is R, and then the R is standing for read. We have the R to read lines, we have the W to write, and then we have the A for append, and they will be using the A. Why? Because we want to be able to append something inside of this text. So what am I doing here? Quickly, I'm creating a variable called file, then I'm handling a file. Okay, now this file is going to be called the text file. All right, now the mode that this file has is A, so that I can append something inside of that particular file. Now I'm going to save something inside this file now, and we're going to see it come up here. All right, so let me just quickly do something. Now I'm coming outside everything. If I say file dot write line, file dot write line, okay, file dot write lines, and then I want to write lines. All right, okay, now I want to write, okay, let me start by writing just one thing inside of it. Let me write my name. All right, oh, sorry. All right, now this name is from my variable here. All right, so let's try this and run it and see what happens. Now if I should run this again, I'm going to have my smart. All right, my score is let me see my score, let me see 40. All right, then I say fair. Now right here you see that this text file has been created, and if I should check inside of the text file now, I would see the name, which is smart. All right, and then the name is coming from the name that I got from the user right here. So what I want to do now, I want to add some more things to this name. I'll be adding the name, I'll be adding the score, I'll also be adding the grade together inside of this thing. Now how do I do something like that? Now I've been able to add up the name. Now the next thing I want to add is the score. So same way, I'm going to say score. All right, so that I get the score also, but then there's something to, okay, it should work. Let's run it now and see. If I have my smart, okay, then input score, if I put my 40, it might say it is not a string. Okay, yeah, so it's saying it is not a string, because for us to write something in this text, it must be a string. So how do I undo that? I can just bring my star so that it identifies it as a string, and then I run it again. So if I should run it now, I'm putting my smart, then my score. If I'm putting 60, then it says very good. Now if I should come here, I'm going to say smart, and then I'm saying 60, which signifies the score that I have used. Now another thing I want to call our attention to is, sometimes you might have a score. Okay, now let me run something. If I have smart, all right, and I'm having 60.5, let's say 60 and a half, you can see it says input a number, and this 60.5 is a what is also a number, but we classify this as a float. All right, so now it's telling me input a number because it is seeing it as value error. So to handle that, we need to change this thing to float, because float helps us to handle both our normal number and also the decimal numbers. All right, so that's the float. Now quickly to round this up, I have the file, I have the right lines, the name, the score, and then the last thing I want to also have is the grade. The grade also, if I put my grade. Now I'm going to put my grade here, my grade to be equals to excellent. My grade to be equals to excellent. I'm going to come here also, my grade to be equals to very good. All right, so I'm going to come here also, my grade to be equals to good, and then my grade to be equals to fair, and then the last one, my grade to be equals to poor. Now what's actually happening here, it is a conditional statement. All right, now if this condition is met, my grade will be what? Excellent. And then if this condition is met, it does not go ahead to run all these ones again. All right, so at this point my grade will be what? Excellent. If this is not met, all right, and then this is the one that is met, that means it's not getting the grade as excellent. What it is actually getting is grade of what? Of very good. So that means for this grade, if the condition is met under this 60 to 79, then the grade is saved to be what? To be very good. Now quickly let's print that out and see if I should run the code once more. Okay, let me just break this code. Please input a number. Okay, I'm trying to break this thing. Let me just delete this terminal and come up with a new terminal. All right, okay, now if I should run this code again, not cd py grade.py. Okay, now what's my name? If I'm putting smart and I'm putting score to be 70, now it says very good. All right, so let's check it out. So I'm now saying three things. I'm saying smart, I'm saying my score, and also saying very good. Now let me just delete all these things, and so that we can start afresh. And then one other thing I want to add, this thing I want to make it a formatted string so that we can put our spacing. Okay, then I can put my, no, not this, yeah, right, then I can put my space here. Same thing I will do here. Inside of it I will have my, then I'll put my formatted string, then I'll put this, and then this, then I would also add my spaces. Yeah, so I think I've been able to. Now if I should run this now, all right, so I'm going to put smart, all right, then I'm going to put 70, then I'm going to have very good. Now if I should run here now, I'll say smart, the 70, and then very good. And then one last thing I want to add to this thing is the backslash of n, so that I want to always have the new thing on a new line. All right, so when I run this thing now, if I should run it now, I'm having the smart, I'm having the score, which is 70. It has very good as the grade, and then you can see here I'm having very good. Okay, I still need a space here. Let me see. I thought I have added a space. It should be here. Yeah, so let's delete it again and try that again. Okay, now I'm putting smart, then I'm putting 90, excellent, and then when I come here I'm going to say smart, 90, and excellent. All right, so let me just let's try it all over again and see again. I want to make it fresh, just something like that. So now if I should run it again, I'm having smart, I'm having 70. It says very good. Okay, I don't know why this guy is not coming here, or let's just delete it. Yeah, so it will automatically create a new one because it has been affected. Smart, then I have the 90, then I have the excellent. Now when I check it now, I have smart, 90 and excellent. I don't want to affect it again. So if I should come here and I'm saying another person, I'm grade of another person, AY who I'm saying 60, it still says very good, and then here I have it on a new line. Now let's try the last one. What if I have a wrong number? Let's say I'm saying input my name is smart, and then the score I'm now saying yes, it says input a number. If I say no, it says input a number. And now if I finally put something like 40, it says fair, and then it is graded as 40. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get more videos like this, so you can your hand can be strengthened regarding Python programming language. Thank you very much. I am smart.